Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for waiting a second here. Will it let you in? Zoom lately makes me log in every time. And you think I'd be like, I'm going to go 3 minutes early and get logged in. Nope, that's not how I roll. I come in at 7 p.m. sharp. So thank you guys for being here. I know it is summer. I know it is still busy. I think all year round we can agree it's busy. But whether you are getting kids back into school, getting ready for back to school, maybe you're in Arizona or California and you've already been back. So you're kind of welcoming the cooler weather. Maybe you're Larry and you love Halloween more than anything on the planet. So you're like, bring it. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm craving a pumpkin spice latte pretty
Oh,
bad right now. So and I
see?
live in the boonies because if I lived anywhere close to a Starbucks, I'd be going to get a pumpkin spice latte right now. Um, anyway, we're so glad you're here with us, whatever season you're in. Again, thank you so much for giving us the time. I want to be respectful of that. We'll dig right in. If you're watching the replay, let the ambassador know that shared this with you, that you watched this. I'll try to go quick. I'm naturally a fast talker, so that won't be a problem. But we'll try to get through everything and help you feel really confident in your decision to jump in and join us this fall in our next Epic Life slash back to healthy habits challenge that we're going to do. So if you don't know me really quick, and then I'll have Larry introduce himself. I'm Kayla Troutman. I have been with Epic Care now 5 years. And really quick, my background, I actually joined the industry 10 years ago, different food company, because I had started going through my cupboards, cleaning out food that had, like that. Basically, if the food had stopped at a factory before coming to my table, our coach at the time, we were attending a new gym, was like, processed. Get rid of it. Try to like just really slim down on what you're eating as far as like options, as whole as possible. And then we'll start from there and we'll rebuild like instead of soy sauce, you can use a liquid aminos and like different things like that. So that's how I actually came into the industry. A friend heard I was doing this, going through this lifestyle change, invited me to a food party, and I prepped 10 freezer meals. And here I am 10 years later. I am a global director with this company, which simply means I've helped a lot of people in the kitchen and a lot of people financially. And it wasn't until this year, 2024, that I got serious again about my own health. And it wasn't because I ever didn't care fully. I want to be clear. I've been eating Epicure for 5 years. I've always wanted the lower sodium, the better option. I know to eat at home, but I'm going to be honest, habits slip, right? Life got busy after the pandemic. And so it was going through the drive through more often or ordering out. It was, way too many fun glasses of wine or cocktails. We were doing, drinks of the weekend and all of that is fine in moderation, but I no longer had moderation. And so I went from joining the industry 10 years ago and having these like solid health habits and goals. It's the whole reason I came here and sharing that with people and changing their lives to somewhere along the way, I had a baby, stopped going to the gym I belonged to. COVID locked me down and I ate a lot of queso and chocolate cupcakes. And so earlier this year, I made a decision to really focus on my health. And wouldn't you know it, God had just the first challenge being put in place. I ended up really sick almost all winter. And that really actually helped me. Again, sometimes you don't know what the reason is until you're past it. It helped force me to say, oh my gosh, like I cannot go through this again another fall and winter next year. I have to take my health more serious. So that's kind of how I'm coming to you. And I'm going to share a little bit more about where I've gone since then, but I want Larry to be able to introduce himself and kick us off as well. So that's me.
Thanks, Kayla. Yeah, so I live in Connecticut with my husband, Adam, and our dog, Kayla, which is the running joke because when Kayla and I coach together, I call my dog and I talk to her and vice versa, and the dog comes over. But um, I am a leader here at Epicure. I've been here, I just hit my 3-year anniversary, and I came to the company because my friend introduced me to the products post-pandemic. I, like Kayla, had different cocktails every weekend during the pandemic, whether I was on Zoom hanging with my friends or FaceTiming. And I actually rolled my ankle. I couldn't walk for about 6 months because getting an MRI was a little bit of a nightmare at the start of the pandemic. And I gained about 30 pounds just because of Uber Eats and DoorDash, because I was able to hobble to the front door on my crutches, get my food, come back, sit on the couch and eat my food. My husband during the pandemic lost his job and he started doing lawns. So he was out all day. So when I tell you guys we ate a ton of fast food, if you guys looked at my Uber Eats account, it tells you like you've saved X amount of dollars in over this amount of time, it was like embarrassing how much money they said we saved using Uber Eats. He gained a little bit more weight than I did, but I actually did the Epic Life Challenge right off the bat when I joined and saw great results. And I always kind of had that healthy mindset up until the pandemic, but I've been probably the healthiest I've ever been since then, joining Epic Care. My goal is all about putting less junk in your body and on your skin, just period. Because we got one body, we got to take care of it. And I love the fact that I'm able to do that easily with Epicare. I literally, Crystal's on my team, and I was messaging her being like, Crystal, I'm not going to be able to get home and shower. I just came home from doing lawns, throw on a baseball hat, put on a clean t-shirt, and I'm here to hang out with you guys. And then I'm going to go make dinner in under 20 minutes. Like, you can't beat that. So I'm super excited to be here with all of you guys too.
I love it. I snuck in the fastest shower ever. So this is not washed hair, Larry. It's the same look I had this morning, but I did take a fast shower because, to be honest, part of what we're going to talk about tonight in the 4 pillars is the pillar that I struggled with the most since the pandemic, when you had nowhere to go. Can anyone else relate to this? I had nowhere I really had to be. I worked from home. Maybe some of you still went in, maybe some of you were considered essential workers, but here at Epic here, I was working from home. I would stay up really, really late and still get up relatively early, but it like didn't matter if I binged a show or sat and ate. You know, I joke about queso and cupcakes, you guys, but what happened in 2020 was I went from doing in-home cooking classes where I never would have ate 5 cupcakes in front of a random group of people. And then I was doing a demo at home. Can you relate to any? I mean, maybe it's not you were doing cooking demos, but just think about this. No one saw me. I was in yoga pants. We were locked down. So it didn't matter if I had like a cupcake right after I got off the live. Then I cleaned up the kitchen and I'd have a second cupcake, and it just snowballed. And so one of the things that I picked up in that was like this late night kind of binge eating without meaning to. And then I'd stay up later telling myself, well, I can't go right to bed. I just ate all this food. And so I wasn't getting enough sleep. So I actually showered selfishly. I'm in a pajama shirt, basically. It's a black tank top. I'm going to go to bed shortly after I get off of here tonight, because we're going to walk you through since the spring for me. I have pretty much overhauled the habits that were holding me back from feeling my best. I overhauled my biggest motivation coming in was I cannot have another year in 2024 fall and then into 2025 like I did to start out the year with COVID and strep and sinus infections. And then Macaulay got pneumonia. We just like couldn't kick the germs in our house. And so I just decided, no, I'm going to get really funny. I'm going to get greens for my gut health. This was before Epicare announced we were getting greens. I'm going to get more sleep. I'm going to get back to drinking more water because there's no way I'm drinking enough water. I can tell. And I'm going to start working on my nutrition again. And it's really interesting, you guys, because Epicure had all of that the whole time. I just wasn't using it. Whereas Larry had already dug into the program. I had been around for a long time. Again, I've been here 5 years and I had seen Epic Life challenges, but I just wasn't in the right place. So I'm sharing all that vulnerably because we're going to have a varying degree of people that tune into this or watch the replay. You may be like Larry and have really great habits and go to a gym consistently, or he helps his husband with his lawn business. So there's like a lot of physical, like, you know, you're doing stuff. Or you might be like me, coming out of a season where you used to know what it was like to go to the gym and you used to know what a balanced plate looked like. And that's just not how you're living right now. I want you to feel normal and also like welcomed. And this is the challenge for you because we just led a group through this same program, a couple of fun modifications Larry and I are making, but similar program. And the results, you guys, you're going to see just a couple of like little snippets tonight. Incredible. So without further ado, Larry, anything you want to add while I start the screen share?
Justin, I'm super excited. I can't say that enough. I'm really excited to do this with whoever decides to do it with us. I am stoked.
Same. So back to healthy habits. This is going to be our Epic Life Challenge for the fall and our 6-week health challenge. We want you to know when you leave this call what it is and how you can get involved and kind of what to expect. Okay. So let's start. Well, first off, again, motivation being feeling amazing this fall. And Larry's going to touch on this in just a second here, but when we got together and said, like, what should the timeline be? Which we want to give you the timeline right away here. So write this down if you're interested in joining. The info calls tonight. And if you're an ambassador, you have a long time to share it. So don't panic. Like, we've got weeks built in here because we know it's back to school, actual change of the season, holiday weekend in the US. We need to give some time. So the chat, the accountability chat, if you decide to join, will open September 1, but nothing will really happen until the 3rd, when we'll lead a kickoff call walking you in detail through the nutrition, through the workouts, through water, through sleep. Tonight, we're going to go over the pillars, but when you come into the program, we'll actually do a full program walkthrough. We call it a kickoff. And then we'll have prep, or I like to call it practice week, where you practice, like maybe saying no to some treats. You practice more vegetables, you practice more water, letting go of, for me, it was coffee in the beginning. I was drinking way too much. And so this is kind of that practice week is September 9th, and then the challenge kicks off September 16th. And Larry, do you want to touch on, like, when we got together the first time and started strategizing this next challenge, you said something really cool about like what's coming and why the timing of this is awesome.
Yeah, so what I love about this is, I don't know about you guys, but I've been enjoying my summer and having some cocktails with friends and eating a little bit more full flavor foods that probably I wouldn't normally do during the normal part of the year. And I feel like this is like the perfect transition. So the goal is to help everybody build those habits now, those basic daily actions that you're going to be able to do for the rest of the year. So you know what happens when the holidays come? You enjoy the holidays, you enjoy Thanksgiving, you enjoy Christmas, but then a day, 2, 3 days later, you just go right back to what you were doing before. You don't hit the new year being like, oh, I'm starting from square one. I could have done this 3 months ago. This is like just the natural time where people get back into their routines. The kids are going back to school. You're probably getting back to your normal day in and day out, less vacations, less extra things. So why not focus on those basic daily habits that you're able to, like I said, carry throughout the rest of the year? You're not going to not enjoy the holidays, but it just makes it so much easier than to start, enjoy, and then get back on track.
Yeah. Yeah, you nailed it. I am so excited, you guys, because I've obviously been at this now a few months, and 4th of July has been in there. I've gone on a few mini vacations. I've been on countless weekends of travel soccer. I've been doing all the things. And like Larry said, it's not about deprivation or not having the dessert at Thanksgiving or whatever, but it's about realizing, like, I think we spend so much time, and we're going to talk about mindset tonight, when we look at health, whether that is weight loss or that is just feeling your best, whatever it is. We spend so much time beating ourselves up or overthinking the choices. So right now, you got to think of the 6-week challenge as like the perfect time to like train your brain, work on your mindset, and get the accountability that you're probably missing when you do it yourself. That's the piece I was missing. You know what holds me accountable? Having a whole bunch of challengers waiting to see if I'm going to check in that day and share my updates. Like, and I mean, they really aren't like coming at me, but in my mind, I've told myself, like, no, you owe it to them to like keep at this now. Like, this is habit. So let's talk about 4 pillars and what that looks like and what this challenge really is. So with pillar 1, we teach you how and what to eat. And it does matter. A lot of people say, to snack throughout the day, and maybe by the way, if you follow keto or Weight Watchers or any of those plans, you can do that as well with Epicure, and you can definitely come into this. But we're going to teach what our scientific data shows, what our scientists that have partnered with Epicure have proven out. And that is that balanced meals, 3 balanced meals. And yes, you can have a dessert in there. An occasional glass of wine isn't going to be, totally cut out, but it's really going to be focused on a balanced plate, which is going to look like probably more vegetables than you're consuming now, a lean protein and a complex carb. And Larry's a really great master of the plate. I know Rhonda's been in a past challenge for sure. Like, a lot of our team has really worked on taking out things like a good example is, a lot of people, at least in the Midwest where I live, consider corn a vegetable. And it's not. It's not that you can't have it. You might be fine. But a lot of people consider like a half a plate of corn, or we talked about this in our current challenge. Larry, did you grow up having like corn on the cob as a full meal? Like, corn on the cob was the dinner? Because this came up, and a lot of us, 80s, 90s, babies had corn on the cob. Like, our parents, it was corn on the cob night, and that was dinner. Served with like butter and salt and pepper, but like that was the dinner. And there's nothing wrong with that as far as really cute, nostalgic, and maybe once a summer. But what we want to show you is like that's actually a carb, which means you also didn't get any protein. None of the good stuff vegetables give you. You're probably also going to be hungry again. And that's where binge eating comes in later. So we're going to work on all of that, and we're going to laugh through it together and learn. Gosh, there are things that I've been learning through the challengers. And then there's a lot of things that I feel like, because I've been at this, months ahead now of others, I've been able to say, did you know this fun fact? I didn't know this about food. And like, I've really figured this out through the challenges. And that's been really cool. So Larry, anything you want to add on pillar one?
Just that it's easier than you think. The
Mhm.
program's a 40-30-30 split, carbs, fat, and protein, and it really is a balanced diet. And I can tell you guys, I've tried many different forms of eating, intermittent fasting, one meal a day, all the different things. And for me personally, this doesn't feel like I'm missing out. I can still have all the things. It just is within the correct ratio. So I really enjoyed this personally. And then Susan asked a question, and I didn't
Oh,
want us to miss it.
please go ahead, Larry.
She asked, how has the program helped us with our stress level? And I can tell you
Oh,
personally, planning ahead, huge. Like no stress. Even Epicure makes dinner so simple, but having started doing on the meal plan where I plan like the week ahead and plan out my dinners and all that, um, I feel like the stress isn't there at all with meals whatsoever, personally.
yeah, and I'll comment, if it's okay, I'll wait and share kind of how my overall results in just a few slides when we share some of the success stories, because I'm on there and I'll just talk about like my coming into this, how I felt about food and measuring, and because that was stressful for me. Larry knows that. And I will
Yep.
cover that on the kickoff call too, in more depth about how like I don't want to measure food the rest of my life. I don't want to have to use an app every day. It's okay if you do. And if you love it and if you measure like Larry, that's amazing. And there's a place for you here. Or if you're partnered with Weight Watchers and you want to count points, like this still works. But I'll
Mm.
be really upfront and honest. I think what held me back so many challenges from really committing is for some reason having to measure and or weigh makes me feel locked down. And I don't know if it's the type A in me or what it is, but just emotionally being honest, I just really had to say, okay, well, what if you do it for a week since what you're currently doing hasn't worked up until this point, and you visually learn, you use the same plate, you're very honest about it. I use the same meal prep containers. So I said to Larry, like, I still use the yellow scoop to do gluten-free oats, but I also technically would know visually where to stop with the gluten-free oats in the containers because I use the same glass containers with the same lids every week. So we're going to also talk through some of those tricks because if you look at these beautiful food pictures, you guys, this is what I'm eating. I love my food. I love my meals. I made steak fajitas last night and they were so good. Nate had them left over today and he's like, that was a really good steak. I'm like, yeah, I felt bad actually using that good of a steak and cutting it up for fajitas, but it's just, I wasn't going to start the grill alone. The boys were at soccer last night. And so it looks like this. It looks like meals like this. So yeah, you're going to love the food and it really helps you. How many of you have a pantry full of Epicure and maybe your hesitation on this challenge or past challenges? I have a lot of Epicure. We're going to talk about different options then if you don't necessarily need a full Epic Life bundle, but I really want you to know you're going to use your products and you're
Mm.
going to see why Epicure is the right choice. Not just any seasoning or anything out there, but the low sodium, the healthy ingredients we choose, the farmers and the places we get those ingredients from, it all matters. So the other three pillars, sleep. This is my biggest one. This is the one I'm working the hardest on still. I've gotten a lot better, almost to the point where some days it's like, I think I'm just gonna like stay in bed a little bit. And Nate's like, no, you're not. We have to go. So I'm working on sleep. And then water, of course. I think we all tell ourselves we're drinking a lot of water, but I think Rhonda and other challengers, if you were in the last challenge, you would agree. A lot of challengers thought they were drinking like
Mhm.
80 to 100 ounces, and they were drinking like 40 to 60. And that's a big difference when you start tracking it and really pay attention. And then movement, of course. I see Pam is asking a question. So we're not allowed to make any medical claims, and I don't want it on a replay that Larry and I are stating anything medically. But I will tell you, first off, you should always consult a doctor or your medical professional before starting a new program if you have any kind of health concerns. What I can tell you is from current challenger experience and real life testimony, whole food is the best way to heal lots of things. And even if it doesn't fully change the diagnosis that you have or the situation, it will only help you get on the right track or get closer to where you're looking to go. So Larry, anything you want to add to that?
So I think I can say this. So I can tell you with my husband's experience, he was pre-diabetic and he
Yeah.
was on
Yep. You can. Yep.
metformin, and now he's off of it. So he was pre-diabetic and he had borderline high cholesterol. So over time, eating healthy and using Epicure, he was able to get off the metformin and the high cholesterol meds, because now he is within range for everything, for him at least. So I would say exactly what Kayla said. It definitely is a great place to start. That's for sure.
We had multiple people in our last challenge group. Again, I'm not making a medical claim. I'm sharing personal experience. I have the testimony from the people and their permission to share that have changed their health dramatically when it comes to blood pressure, cholesterol levels, ability to get up and go on a longer walk or not have all of the achiness and joint pain and inflammation, and just a lot of really cool success stories. So that's why these 4 pillars work together. That's really important in this program. The goal here to help you feel good. Like I said, really just working on your overall health. So I think it goes without saying, but we're going to help you with food lists and portion help. I call it the plating method because again, it helps me when I don't have to think about maybe portion being a limitation, but just plating it the proper way with the right amounts. And Larry said it's easier than it looks. Like that's why I put here, making it easy. We're going to help you make it easy. So the food isn't a struggle and you don't have to have a bad relationship with food that oftentimes, if we look back, came from, for me, and I shared this last round and I'll share it with you guys as well. It came from having a family that basically told me like, you're going to be overweight like your mom, or you have to watch what you eat. And it's almost like they created that foreshadowing in me. So even when I'm making bad choices, I'm still feeling, and I say bad with air quotes now, there is no food that is bad. It's how you put it together in a day to feel your body like you need it to or not, right? And so, but I'm unprogramming years of, even when I really wasn't caring, I would think like, oh, I shouldn't have that ice cream. It's not good for me. And then I had the ice cream anyway. So we know what that ends up being, right? This vicious cycle of an unhealthy relationship with food. I do want to stress again, the middle thing here, accountability, I think is the biggest piece. Leaning into the challenge. I was giving my team a pep talk today, my ambassadors, about doing this next challenge. And I was just very honest. I said, if you come into this challenge, we want you to like be a part of it. Comment, engage. Larry's got some cool ideas to get us even more engaged in the chat this challenge. I'm going to do prize drawings again, like we did last time. Tomorrow I'm actually announcing the last prize of the current challenge, and it's a good one. So make sure to watch that if you're in that challenge. But I think accountability is something that I thought I didn't need because I'm very strong-willed. If I say I'm going to do it, I keep promises to myself. But I think in this part of my world, my health, it's so good to know that other people maybe woke up this morning and don't feel like doing anything either. Or you ate a bunch of treats and now you feel like garbage, which only amps up a lot of times our minds in like, well, I already ate like garbage now for breakfast and lunch. I might as well just have whatever for dinner or drink the rest of the bottle of wine that I opened last night. And really having accountability to be like, actually, you're just going to feel worse. What if you go on a walk right now, drink a bunch of water, and then see how you feel? And almost always you're like, oh my gosh, I feel great. It was like nothing that I had a splurge day on Sunday. I'm back on it, whatever. So accountability is huge. And then the last thing, we're going to give you trackers and tools and just continue to help give you reminders. I think I said at least 60 times in the chat. I think I said, we're stacking the wins, people. It's not all or nothing. It's all or something. Keep that in mind. It's all or something today. And so, Larry, anything you want to add to any of these?
So number wise, accountability. Did you guys know that there's an 80% increase in success that has to do with fitness goals or health goals when you have that accountability and you're doing it with somebody else? So I think that really is huge. And just like what you had said, it's like that vibe of you're not in it alone. Not everyone's perfect. That you don't need that all or nothing mentality. The program really is meant to be, it's not a diet. It's meant to be healthy habits that you're able to sustain long term. And the goal, feel good. So
Sorry, I muted myself so I wasn't sipping my water so loudly. I know Larry's really passionate about this, so I'll only say a little bit about gut health and then I'll let Larry take over as far as our greens go. But if you're really, really struggling with gut health, my personal story here is that what also forced me to take some immediate action this spring was I noticed in March and April, after coming out of just a lot of sickness, like having a cup of coffee in the morning was giving me a stomach ache. I was super bloated. I hadn't gotten my wedding ring off in 2 years. And I just was like, why are you dealing with all these symptoms in your mid 30s? Like, You're smart. You're an intelligent woman. Why are we not doing something about this? And right now, I kept hearing, how many of you realize this? The words gut health are very trending right now. Everyone's talking about it, especially if you're at the age of like perimenopause or menopause in women. But in general, like our gut really controls so much. It controls our skin and just how we sleep and the energy we have or don't have. And again, that joints and all the things. So I dug into some gut health work. And when you come into our program for free, as part of the program, you're going to get a list of 6 things that you can avoid if you really want to do a 4-week gut health focus. We just had men and women walk through 4 weeks with us in this last group where you eliminate 6 specific things. Think gluten, think some of the obvious things. You still do Epic Life, you still follow the plating method, you just don't consume these 6 things. And then in the last 2 weeks of the challenge, you start to add them back and see how you feel, you track. Well, one woman was able to diagnose and has gone to the doctor now and confirmed she's actually allergic to corn. No wonder why corn was making her sick. She's down 20 pounds in 6 weeks and is no longer having corn and feels so much better. And I hope it's okay that I share her story. I'm not going to say her name because I didn't ask her today. I didn't even think of it, but she is so happy she did it because corn was making her sick and she had no idea every time she consumed it. You think it's like, oh, I just been having a bad day, or it's the margarita that I had at the Mexican restaurant. It's like, no, it's the corn chips that you're having at the Mexican restaurant. So anyway, that was a really neat story. Some of my other customers have said that starting fresh and kind of eliminating these things for 4 weeks and adding them back in now, they're not finding dairy to be a problem or an occasional cocktail to be a problem. And they're really starting to see the scale move. It was just like the reset their gut and their body needed. So such cool stories coming out of it. What we work on in this portion, so you'll see how when we launch the challenge, when we do the kickoff call, we're going to say, hey, do you want to do it like Larry and Adam have done in the past? And do you want to do Epic Life RX as prescribed, where you're not eliminating anything? You're working on learning the portions and working on the 4 pillars of the whole. Or do you want to take it up one notch and also do the gut protocol or the gut program where you remove these 6 elements? Everything else is the same. You can move your body the same. You're going to use the same, scoops to measure or plating methods. You're going to use the same trackers. And after those 4 weeks, of course, you can add those things back in. This is not I always give this disclaimer. I love cows. I love my dairy farmers. I don't want you to take out dairy forever. All my customers have dairy cows. Okay. I love milk. But I think sometimes it's okay to work on resetting your body. So we work on trying to get 30 plants in each week. And by the way, a plant is also like oats and quinoa and a potato. And so it adds up pretty quick. And then just realizing that sometimes when you just go all in for a few weeks and do a reset, you can see it in me. If you see pictures of me from a couple months back and now, it's like I'm a different person. A big part of that was just I see my team all shaking their heads if you've been with me for a while. I just feel really great. Am I going to always do all 6 of those things eliminated? No. Am I trying to reduce some alcohol though? Because we just know alcohol is not great for you. Yes, I am trying to do that. And am I sometimes choosing not to have the ice cream? Yeah, for a variety of reasons. One, that's a lot of dairy, but also it's a lot of sugar and it's not got anything nutritional in it. So just to be clear, this gut program I'm very passionate about. It's an option. You don't have to do it, but if you do add those things back in. And again, I love my dairy farmers, so please don't come at me. Now, what's really cool, I'm serious about this. What's really cool is we added a next level that our last challengers didn't have the option for. And I told you guys when I started this, and Larry is so excited about this. When we started this call, I said, so back in the spring, I went on a hunt to find a company that had greens. I partnered with another actually direct sales company. They were wonderful. They were significantly more expensive than ours. And they had an ingredient in them that I actually wouldn't normally consume, but I really knew that the rest of it seemed like, okay, this could be something good. In addition to me starting this program, I could take these every day. Loved them, was on them for 2 months. And then our CEO called and said, hey, what do you think about adding greens to the line? I was like gut health greens, like greens. And she's like, yeah, we found this really cool company to partner with. And if it goes well, we're going to partner long-term. And I wanted to get your feedback. And I was like, I think greens would be amazing since I could buy them from myself, which would be great. But the first thing I asked her was, can I see the ingredient list? Because if we don't keep our standard at Epicure, I don't really want to have it. And I think Larry and everyone on this call would agree. And obviously it's that plus some. So Larry, do you kind of want to go over this section and just why you're so excited? Yay, Larry's got a bag. I'm going to let Larry take it away because he's super passionate about Magic Scoop. So Larry, what is Magic Scoop? Why is it so great for us? Why are we excited to have it as part of this challenge? Kind of go over all of it.
Yeah. So like Kayla said, what I was most excited about also was the fact that it did line up perfectly with what we stand for as a company. When you guys decide to give Magic Scoop a try, because I don't know why you wouldn't want to. If you flip it around, guys, absolutely no GMOs. It's gluten-free, dairy-free, lactose-free, no herbicides, pesticides, no eggs, no peanuts, no animal byproducts, and nothing artificial. Like, boom. That perfect epicare. It's vegetarian, vegan, paleo, low carb, and keto friendly. And that's just reading a couple things from the back. But what I was most excited about was, oh, Jamie, I love the greens, which is a big win. Jamie is on my team, and not calling you out, Jamie. She's all, I don't want to say picky, but I was a little nervous because I was like, I hope she likes these because I know how Jamie, how you go, Jamie. And when she messaged me, it's like, I love the flavor. I was like, yes, because I have been known, I'll throw myself out under the bus. If something is good for me, I can suck it up. I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad. I can make it work. My husband, not that way. Mom, I think you're watching, not that way. So when Adam gave it a drink, I was like, okay, this is good. He likes the flavor. We can do this. But I was most excited about the idea of reintroducing some of these vitamins and minerals. I, like Kayla, went through, oh my gosh, it's probably been almost a year now, where if you guys know me, I've had ups and downs with being sick, and not like, oh, little sick, like, oh, I'm down and out for like 3 months of sickness. And pre-pandemic, I worked at American Eagle. I was in with all the people all the time. And post-pandemic, I'm working from home. So now my immune system kind of took a little bit of a nosedive. So I was looking for ways just to get back. I want to be able to hang out with some of my friends' kids and not come home sick every single time I hang out with them because they're little germ factories. It just happens. But I was excited for having, when we call it Magic Scoop, it really is a one scoop does all kind of a vibe. So there's over 75 different quality ingredients that are meant to help your body. Literally one scoop a day, mix it with water. You can add it to shakes. I know some people are doing the salted caramel with it and really enjoying it. I want to say there's a recipe we have with salted caramel, mango, and the greens. Yeah. And everyone's raving about it. But just really quick, I want to go through just some of the ingredients just to give you guys an idea of why I'm loving it. So I've been taking it now 4 days. So obviously it takes time for you to be able to notice differences, but I can tell you what I'm most excited about with the ingredients and what they're known for. So there's a couple different areas that it focuses on. Number one, obviously, is digestion and gut. So like Kayla had said, the gut is tied into so many different things between brain function, skin, how you feel, that bloat. We're all friends here, so I'll overshare a little bit. I have body problems where I might not go if I don't eat all the fiber and things like that. So my goal is to be able to use this just to not feel bloated and not feel like garbage, and actually everything goes through in and out the way it's supposed to. So there's probiotics in here, 2 different probiotics. And why am I bringing that up? I'm bringing it up because they have different doubling times. So the way they measure bacteria is how long it takes for it to double in your system. And why is it cool that we have 2 different doubling times? We have one that's 75 minutes and one that's 7 hours. The shorter doubling time, quicker results. It doubles faster, but it also dies off quicker. The longer doubling time, that 7 hour one, that gut bacteria lasts about 6 months and able to do what it has to do in your gut. So more long-term benefits. So you really want to have something that has both. You want a quick doubling and a long doubling. On top of that, we have ginger, which you guys probably know. It's soothing, helps with bloating and gas. It's high in antioxidants, which is what we want. We want to get rid of all those damaging free radicals that are in our system. Apple cider vinegar, same idea, high in antioxidants. The acetic acid in there helps blood sugar levels. So it actually helps with maintaining a balance, and you don't see those big spikes and dips in your blood sugar levels. Dandelion root, which I don't know if anyone's ever had roasted dandelion tea, but dandelion is a great detox herb. It's great at flushing your system, getting rid of toxins. And then some things you guys probably have heard of before, flaxseed, chia seed, slippery elm bark. That is great. If you guys have a sore throat, off topic a little bit, make a tea with it. it coats the inside of your throat so it doesn't hurt when you swallow, but it does the same thing inside your intestines. So what it does is it coats your inside so everything just basically passes through a little bit easier without any hiccups or irritation or anything like that. Alkalizing greens. So we have kale, spinach, chlorella, alfalfa, barley. And why are those things great? Your body functions best, especially your gut, in an alkaline environment. There's less disease, less stress, it functions better. And that's why you add kale or spinach to your protein shakes and things like that. It's not only for the vitamins and minerals, your body just functions better in that alkaline state. See, if I'm talking too fast, let me know. Like I said, like Kayla said, okay. Brain health. So this was, to me, what I was most excited about, because I was looking into some of these things before Magic Scoop came into the picture, because I knew I wanted to add it to my routine. Has anyone heard of all the excitement about mushrooms and how they impact your body? It's trendy all over TikTok right now. These have been around. Ancient Chinese medicine has used cordyceps and lion's mane and reishi mushrooms forever, since for thousands of years. We're just now kind of getting on board with it, mainstream. So some of the good things about having these super mushrooms is that they're good at helping support healthy blood sugar levels. They help with your cellular health. They help with your brain health, and they help with cognition in general. So basically memory. We have cordyceps in there, and those are good for energy, reducing fatigue, boosting libido and sex drive. Lion's mane is in there too, and that's probably what you've heard the most about. A lot of people have been taking it and saying that they've seen a noticeable difference with their memory. I joke around and say that I have senior moments. I know I'm probably a little bit younger, but it's true. You have those moments where like something comes in and goes out, and you're like, what was I thinking? What was I gonna say? So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that helps with some of those little oops moments that tend to pop up every now and then for me. But it's also good for reducing inflammation. And I took some notes just because I wanted to make sure I got everything 100% for you guys. This was what I found most impressive. It promotes growth and survival and the function of new and mature nerve cells in your brain. So people have actually been saying that with taking lion's mane, they can noticeably tell the difference in their memory. They're recalling memories from like their childhood much more vividly and clearly. And who doesn't want to do things like that? Reishi mushrooms are great for enhancing your immune system, reducing stress, improving sleep, lessening fatigue. Reishi mushrooms alone have over 400 different nutrients just in that one mushroom itself. So when I tell you that super mushroom blend is impressive, it really is an awesome combo. Adaptogens. So we know adaptogens help your body handle stress. Obviously, it's not going to get rid of stress, but at the end of the day, it's how you react to those things that really make the difference. And that's where the adaptogenic blend comes into play. So it helps manage stress. It lessens cortisol, which is huge. High levels of cortisol aren't good for your heart, cardiovascular health. It's not good for your gut, any of those things. So we have ashwagandha, which you guys probably have heard of. It's great at helping you maintain that lower level of stress, reducing stress, feeling better, being able to handle things a little bit better. Same thing with anxiety. It really helps if anyone has issues sleeping. They say sleeplessness helps you sleep a little bit more soundly. Ginkgo biloba, you guys probably have heard of that. That's a supplement that probably some of you have taken in the past. And then rhodiola root extract. Those are all great herbs known to help manage that anxiety and that stress response. Superfoods, you guys probably have heard of these: acai berries, spirulina, chia, flax seeds. Those guys are filled with all different nutrients. And if I listed them all off, you guys would be like, okay, he's not done yet. Like when I tell you so much, so much. And then the last portion of the greens that's super exciting is the immunity and energy. And these probably will sound a little bit more familiar than some of the other things I've been talking about, but vitamins A, C, D, E, your B vitamins for energy, minerals such as like niacin, iron, copper, got your manganese, your chromium, and then antioxidants like selenium, blueberries, green tea extract. So the goal with this is I don't have to go and take my multivitamin. I don't have to go and take vitamin C. I don't have to go and take all those separate supplements. The goal is I'm able to take one scoop and I'm good to go. And it covers me, my gut health, my brain health, my immunity, energy, and I'm just good across the board. Because for those of you that do know me, I have my little, I call it my old person pill box. It makes me think of like a grandma kind of a vibe, where you have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I put all my vitamins in there, and it was a lot of them. It was like 8 a day. I'm sure I was probably drinking 50 ounces of water just to take my vitamins, but now I just do the one scoop in my water, and it's tasty, and I'm good to go. So this is honestly what I'm super excited about, because I want to see what happens 2 weeks in, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and just keep going from there. And if I can get back to being high immunity and feeling good and energized, and it's as simple as drinking this every day, there's lots more things that are painful that I could be doing versus this. It's just so simple. Did I forget anything, Kayla?
No, you did great. I thought it would be really good, you guys. I hope it was okay to go into a little bit like detail here, but I think it's good for people. Our greens are newer to our line, but those of us that have been using any kind of greens or have been watching this trend for a while, Larry nailed the biggest thing. It's convenience. 75 great ingredients. They all have a purpose. And I thought it'd be really valuable, since Larry is so well versed in like why these different ingredients are important. But as a whole, working on, again, just starting out your day with something really great, packed with all kinds of things that we don't always get from our food sources, and really just the benefits. I just got an email from a client tonight and I wanted to read it to you. She had replied back. I always check in to make sure my customers get their orders. And she said, "Oh yeah, girl, I've had it for a week and a half and I've already been drinking it." So I knew it was the greens. I was like, "Oh yeah, I got to reply back and ask her, so what do you think?" And this is what she said. She said, oh gosh, I bumped it now. Hold on. She said, "I love them. Unlike other greens I've tried, the taste is really great. They're easy to drink. And the most awesome part is I can already feel a difference within a week and a half." I responded back and said, "That's amazing. How do you feel otherwise? Like, are you sleeping great? Like, tell me more." And she said, "The biggest thing I'm noticing is energy, and just how I can tell it's working in my gut." So that's someone's personal testimony that she shared with me tonight. Didn't plan that today when I was talking to Larry. It just happened to come in this afternoon, but I think it's really cool for people to hear. So we want you to know that Epicure offers many different tools to help you live your best life. This is a new tool. We do recognize that there may be something in here. We do have a teammate that can't have mushrooms. So obviously, the greens are not a good choice for you for obvious reasons. That's okay. But for those of you that are interested, wanted more information, or want to know those things, and ambassadors, if you're on, so that you have more tools now in your tool belt to share the greens, we wanted to make sure we went over them. Now, I do want to walk through how this
I
all
wanted to
fits
ask a
together. I think it,
question.
oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Larry.
I just thought, so she asked if the water needs to be cold for drinking the greens.
Oh,
I do cold water. I don't know about Kayla or anybody else, but I
yeah,
cold from my tap, I should say.
I don't have any texture issues or anything, but I will tell you, this is my secret to anything. I read the package. The original greens I started with said empty stomach, first thing in the morning, cold water. So I just continue that. So here's my secret. You want to get an easy 20 ounces of water in bright and early. I do 10 ounces of water with no greens, just to kind of get the cold water like going. And then I fill the cup again, same cup, and I do 10 ounces of cold water with the greens in it. I stir it. I know Mary and many others are using the Epicure Air Wand or frother. You go, girls. I literally stir it with a straw. You can shake it, and I drink it. I like the taste. So I bring it out here usually to the office and I sip on it then in the next like little bit while I'm reading my prayer book or doing my devotional for the day. And then I go back to my next water bottle. So I usually have like 40 ounces of water in pretty early in the morning now, because I trained myself that way. But I would say cold water and then stirred or shook in some kind of fashion is going to mix it well into the water for sure.
And then she asked, does your digestive system react pretty fast to notice changes? Or, oops, sorry, Jamie's message pop up at the same time. Does your digestive system react pretty fast to the greens in the first few days? I would say, I can tell you guys, Kayla and I were talking about this. The first thing I noticed was probably an hour and a half later, I went to the bathroom and it glue like a highlighter from the B vitamins. And that was just my body. It took what it needed and the rest came back out. And then I can tell you today, because I had told you guys that I had some stomach problems, I had no issues in that department, which was awesome for me, because you just feel better when you're regular at the end of the day. What about you, Kayla? How did you
Yeah,
feel?
I feel like I've noticed, I mean, right from the start, I feel like I noticed. And then I made the changeover and I tried to be really specific about like finishing the greens I was using. And then Epicure had sent me a 1 month supply to start on early so that they would have some people out in the field like with our greens testimony. And I could feel a difference right away as well. I do think it's that one ingredient that I usually, and I don't want to bash any other company, but there's something in the other greens that I wouldn't have normally consumed. It's actually a reason I came into my first company 10 years ago. This is one of those like no ingredients. And they have it in their greens, which was interesting, but everything else was good. And it was such a trace amount. I was like, I feel better on these. And I think that could be part of it. So I want to be upfront and honest about that. But I think you'll notice the feeling right away. I mean, just like more energy and just better digestive health right there. Those are two things I would say you're going to notice. And what Larry's saying, like regular, I mean, you do have to like, this is why it's a 4-pillar system. And we want you to add the greens. You can't drink 6 Mountain Dews throughout the day and drink the greens first thing in the morning and think like you're going to get the same results I am. Just being dead honest. Okay. Like, I do think it's important to know, like, that's why it's all together. Larry and I talked about it first, just doing a greens group. But number one, I said to him, well, we're going to have some people that it just ingredient wise with 75 ingredients, there's going to be some allergies, sensitivities, or a reason someone maybe can't consume the greens. Cool. We don't want you to be excluded. I also, though, think I said to him, my heart is to actually help people. And I'm lying to you if I say, drink these greens, you're going to change your life. You're still going to be better off because 6 Mountain Dew has got to be tearing you up. So, I mean, having the greens has got to be helpful still. But if we're being honest, you're not going to get the same results as someone who is trying to drink, 60, 80, 100 ounces of water, who's going out and walking on their lunch break, getting sunshine and making sure they get rest at night and take downtime. Like it's the full package program. So,
I think
yeah,
I feel like everyone that's on here, you guys know, there's like no magic pill.
yeah.
There's no way just to if it was that easy, we would all be healthy all the time. And then Jamie said she's been using him for almost 2 weeks now, and she noticed her energy level has increased, and she's starting to notice changes in her memory. That's so exciting.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like my brain is, I went through a slump after being sick, man. That was so rough on me. And short-term memory, I remembered like what I had listened to in a podcast that day. But if I like, usually I'm somebody where if I'm in the shower, I think of something, I can rethink of it later. I just couldn't in the winter and spring of this year. It was really hard on me. And so I definitely feel like in my overall health, I'm back, if that makes sense to people. I feel so good. So I want to walk through the layout here, you guys, and then keep your questions coming. Larry's going to watch the chat. We're going to make sure we grab them. How this will work is you'll order your bundle or an equivalent value of Epicure. And we're going to show you why we say that in just a second, because we know allergens, food sensitivities. We want you to get what you really need to come into this challenge. But we do want to be honest and upfront. We get asked all the time, again, what if I have a pantry full of Epicure? What if I just hosted? Work with your ambassador to figure out what's best for you. The biggest thing I want to say though is when you spend nothing, you usually commit nothing. You're just not committed. And a lot of people would charge $50 or $100 or $200 to have coaches for 6 weeks and prizes and accountability and the workouts we're going to give you. And all we ask is that you're supporting Epicure. You're supporting your Epicure ambassador because you want our products anyway. And we believe you need them. You need the greens or the protein or the lower sodium seasonings, the meal planning tools. So FYI, it's going to be really up to you. And then once you make that purchase, that's when you get access again to that chat, the Google Drive with all the resources and all the tools. The second part of this then is you'll get invited to the chat. And I want to just cover what that means. In the chat, we will have our kickoff call information. Of course, the replay if you can't make it on the 3rd. But even more so, we link a Google Drive. And I know Rhonda and others can nod their head if they agree. The Google Drive has been awesome. We've got a folder in there to walk you through before and after photos and how to take measurements and how to even stand in front of a window and just take a picture of your skin before you start working on your gut health and your health. We've got a folder in there with all the meal plans, a folder in there with workouts and ideas. And by the way, workouts can mean if you average 5,000 steps a day right now, can you go to 7,000, 8,000? 10,000 by the end of the challenge, like different things. Larry's going to have lifting plans in there. If you want to do some weightlifting at home or be able to walk into an Anytime Fitness, which is usually pretty affordable, or a Planet Fitness and be able to do some of our programs. I have some free YouTube channels listed that have literally been helping me shed the pounds, but also have brought me a ton of joy. Some dancing / walking in place on the days when I don't feel like much. and then some more heavier, more CrossFit style workouts on the days when I feel like I can really give it. And that combination has been so good for me. Also in there is going to be a journal that Epicure no longer sells, but we think is super valuable. So we scored the PDF of that. It's in there. We also have a 1-page photo of it. So you can print that and digitally update it every day in Insta Tracker, or print it off and put it in a page laminator or laminate it and use dry erase marker. So you're going to get a lot for your, purchase of Epicure. Then we do the kickoff and prep, like we said, or practice week. And then we rock the challenge for 6 weeks, starting the 16th. So that's kind of the layout of the land, or lay of the land. Anything you want to add, Larry? There's a little bugs going around my head. It's annoying.
Nope,
Anything?
I think you nailed it. It's funny. I don't know about you guys, but or maybe some of the ambassadors, you guys know this. There's so many different free things out there, and I can tell you guys, and I'm so bad with this, but when I sign up for something for free, I rarely do it. And I know that's so bad because I'm like, oh, I have every intention. Like, I didn't have to pay for this. Like, let's do this. But when I paid the $100 to do the training, I'm going to show up for the training because I have skin in the game at that point. So I think it's awesome.
Yep. I think that's so true. And that can be in business. That can be like, I've had like, give me your email and I'll send you a free meal plan, right? It's like 7 back to school recipes. Why do I never make one of those recipes? But if I pay even $7 for the 7 recipes, I'm making something from this book this weekend.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what we're trying to not only show our ambassadors, like your brain, your help, you're walking someone through a program, your time is worth something. And to you customers, we believe in our products and what we're going to offer you the next 6 weeks. So it's really just making sure everybody knows and is on the same page on that. So we want this journey to be the change for you. We want you to leave feeling as good as our current challengers do, as empowered as they do, and hopefully as good as you're seeing me. So I know somebody had asked, was it Susan or somebody else had asked about stress? So first of all, we have 2 photos here. The first one is one of my customers, Alyssa. She started last November, and this is her in May or June. Incredible results, over 30 pounds gone. She feels amazing. And really, she equates it to finding Epicure in the fall and realizing like, I overeat, I'm eating the wrong things. I need to change it up. But Epicure makes it easy and fast. She's got little kids at home. She works full time. So it became a solution for her. And stories like her started making me go, why am I not doing this myself? Like, I literally have the tools. And so this was actually my photo a month ago already. When I was down about 20 pounds, and and again, I've only been at it a few months. So this is like real results, real things happening. It's not a pill. It's not a magic potion. It's not something expensive. We want you to like buy a system and every month you need to keep buying the system. We want you to like learn those habits and those pillars. Also around the screen, you can see different testimonies, and I'm going to have Larry talk about his that's on here, but at the bottom, nope, I lied. At the top, you'll see one of my challengers from last challenge. This was my favorite testimony. Notice there's no number in here or measurement, but she said, I just had a coworker ask me how much weight I've lost 2.5 weeks in, and people were noticing. I think when you work on you and you make choices that empower you and make you feel in control and just make you feel good, it actually doesn't end up being about the scale or the measurements at all, although we help you do that. It's how you walk into a room. It's how you wear the outfit. It's how you take the time to put on your makeup that day. And you just like ooze confidence. And that's what people want to be around. That helps you get the job. It's not that you've lost 10 pounds or 30 pounds or 50 pounds, whatever your goals are. It's how you start showing up to your life. And I've seen that in this challenger. And again, I don't want to use her name, but it's been really fun. And you can just see there alone, she had shared that and I snapped this, and already 17 people had shown her love and support. That's also the power of an accountability chat. So Larry, what about you and Adam? I know your testimony's at the bottom there. Do you want to share about that?
It's where the bottom left. Like I told you guys, when I joined Epicure, I jumped right into the very first Epic Life Challenge. And I actually think it started like the month after I joined. I was like, let's do this. And Adam and I went through a couple different rounds. I want to say it was three rounds. Yeah. And between the two of us, we lost just over 100 pounds total and about 20 inches down between the two of us. And for me, I was excited. So my number was a little bit skewed because I didn't only lose weight, but I actually gained some inches. So I was happy. I got some inches in my chest, some in my arms, and I was like, yes, okay, this is what I want. But yeah, it made it simple. And that's what it really boiled down to. If something's hard, you don't want to do it. And it was so simple that we didn't only do it once or 2 times. We went through the full program 3 times, and it just became kind of like a way of life. And now, like Kayla had said, we've gotten to the point now where we don't have to be going through the program. It's just how we plate our food. And obviously, for any of you guys that are Facebook friends with me, you probably saw my plate a couple of days ago where it was like a pizza, meatballs, and waffle fries. We indulge every now and then, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the majority of the time, the Epic Life Challenge made it so we're good to go when we do want to have those splurges here and there, because it's just so easy to do the right stuff or the good stuff the majority of the time. So yeah, so that that worked out for us really well. And this is why I'm still here. And I was excited to partner with Kayla and everybody else to do this challenge, because we saw results. And like Kayla said, my number went down less than Adam's, but it is about that confidence and some things that might seem silly, but being able to put like the jeans on that I wore pre-pandemic, or throwing on a tank top and not being self-conscious because I had an overhang here or there, or things like that. And the number didn't go down a ton on the scale, but those little things make a difference in how you carry yourself and how you feel. And at the end of those different programs that we went through, the 3 different times, how do you think I felt? I was excited. People did see results, and at the end of the day, that just made it worth it. Like, you realize, okay, I'm doing this for myself, but it's paying off in multiple ways. So yeah.
Yeah. And the biggest thing we want you to do is, wipe our pictures out of here, wipe our testimonies out of those little, conversation bubbles, and put your story in. You're really going to be writing your story. So again, it might not be weight loss at all. I want to acknowledge that. You might have different goals, or it might be that you have a lot of weight to lose. So do I. That's why I'm also loving running these groups, is I'm on the sustainable, healthy track to do this in a way that I won't bounce back in 30 days or 60 days or a year and be like, oh, I'm right back to where I started. I've been saying to people, this is the last time that I'm at this weight. And this is the last time that my eyelashes are going to look like this, because I've been using an eyelash serum and it's been working great. Like, and I've been joking about that, but like, as simple as like, I would say to myself, like, that's the reason I'm using this eyelash serum, is to grow my eyelashes. I'm focused on my health so that a year from now or 2 years from now, I'm still on this journey, and it's less of a, challenge and more of just my lifestyle. So go ahead, Larry. Were you going to say something else?
I just saw Rhonda's comment. She said, my story is in the lower right-hand corner and my blood work is better.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Congrats, Rhonda. Love it.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah. It's been a really fun challenge, our Feel Good Summer Challenge. And Larry asked me tonight, today, if I'm going to ask everybody to share their final stats, which of course I am. And what I'm going to do is then anonymously, not sharing anyone's name, but just take an overall number of inches our group lost, number of pounds our group lost. So I think it's really powerful to think, when a group of people come together and everybody's cheering each other on and celebrating the wins and saying, hey, like, you got this. It's okay. You had a hard weekend. The unexpected things happen. Like, it's not all or nothing. It's all or something. See, I say it all the time, all or something every day, stacking the wins. So we want you to come and do this with us. And again, thinking about, like, how bad do you want it? What made you get on this call? Why are you watching the replay? How many times have you watched somebody else on social media or in your circle make a change, and you're like, dang, actually, we were at back to school night and I saw somebody and I thought, she looks so good. She's always been beautiful, always my favorite office person, so helpful with my son. She looks so healthy right now, and I'm so happy for her. And I found in my heart, like, you're also happier for other people when you're taking care of yourself. It's irrelevant what size I am or how I compare. I'm not comparing. I'm just genuinely feeling really happy for others that are doing the same and figuring out what works for them. So think of where you'll be 6 weeks from now, 3 months from now, where you're going to be at Christmas time, where you're going to be spring break in next year and summer break, ahead of all the people that wait to make that New Year's resolution and try to go at it alone. You're going to be that far in already. That's my encouragement to you. A couple of sneak peeks that I know people want to know. What are you getting again? What's the value? Workouts, bonus meal plans, the gut health section, and all of the research and what I've done and paid for to learn about kind of healing my gut, our plant tracker, our daily journal, plating help, the food list, the portion guide, all of it. Plus, you're going to have Larry's brain and my enthusiastic energy, because I don't know ingredients like that. So that's not what you're getting from me, but you're getting my awesome energy. Okay. The value is incredible. And then the accountability, that private chat that we're going to have together. Larry, anything you want to comment on the sneak peeks?
No, I think the most important thing to remember, guys, is this really is made for like everybody, no matter what your goals are. And I liked when Kayla had said it doesn't have to be to lose weight. It could just be to be healthy,
Mhm.
to get in a good structure, a good flow. Like you guys know how you feel when you're in flow, you just feel better, you do better, you react better. And I think that that's important because my goal is to gain some more muscle this time around. And maybe your goal is to lose a couple of inches. Maybe your goal is just to eat 3 balanced meals a day. And I think it's just important to note that no matter what your goal is, this program really is made for everybody. So,
I was listening to a podcast and it was about how you show up is how you show up. And I was like, well, that sounds redundant, which is what caught my attention and made me listen to the podcast. And it was about how so often in the pandemic, we stayed in our workout clothes. Those of us that worked from home in any capacity, or those of us that, Macaulay was littler, my son, I was home full time. And I've noticed that since doing this challenge, I've really been intentional about not just like getting in my workout early and drinking my water, but also like most days truly showering and getting ready and like showing up, because how you show up is how you show up. And it made me think of that customer that I shared the testimony for, whose friends and coworkers started noticing. I noticed in her story shortly after she joined the challenge, she was sharing her outfit of the day so confidently. And I thought to myself, I've never seen her show an outfit of the day ever, but she's fun to watch. And it's like how you show up is how you show up. And I think when you come at a challenge like this, you have to go in knowing, yeah, it's not going to be super great getting rid of things that you probably love that don't serve you really well, or those short-term fixes for the long-term gain. But once you're past that initial hurdle, it gets easier every day. So, was there another question?
yep. If you drink the greens first thing in the morning, when can I have my coffee? So I don't drink coffee, so I'd be bad at this.
So actually, that's a great question. I have never changed anything. So I've done the greens, like I said, cold water. And then like this morning I made a fresh pot. I do grind my beans and I try to buy like a good coffee now. I'm trying to do less acidic. So FYI, if you cold brew your coffee, truly cold brew it in the Epicure pitcher, which you can still get right now. It's actually way less hard on your guts and like the acidity levels less. Yeah. Tara and I did some research on this, Larry. So that's actually how I started to reintroduce coffee after I did the first initial gut round. I wouldn't allow myself more than 3 cups in a week. And I did cold brew first. Now I'm able to have hot again, but I will tell you, I never drank a pot of coffee because I felt like I needed the energy, truthfully. I
Mm.
love coffee and I love the experience and I love the smell and it's a habit. So what I find is like, because I've done the greens, my belly's already getting pretty full of 20 ounces of water really early. So I don't like feel like I need the liquid as much. Like I feel like my body even knows, like, well, you can't drink 6 cups of coffee right now and then go drive your son to school. Like you're gonna have to use the restroom. So I think it also just helps me like filling your body up with cold water and those greens to start. I did have a beautiful latte I made at home this morning with a sugar-free vanilla flavor and then some almond milk and coffee. I drank that on the way to school. And then when I came home, I started drinking water again, got ready for my workout or my walk with the dogs, chug some more water. So I don't think it really matters. I mean, we can look a little closer at the program. I will tell you that like they really do recommend like reducing if you're going to do the gut portion, caffeine down to like 3 cups. Larry, what's Epic Life normally say on coffee? Do you know on caffeine in general?
A cup a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would rather also, I got to be honest, after really thinking about it, I don't need all that caffeine. I feel naturally just really energetic. I would rather drink a pre-workout right before I work out. It makes me feel better than having the coffee sometimes. So like today, I didn't have pre-workout. So I also knew like I'm going to have a cup of coffee. But if I do have a pre-workout, then sometimes I just like don't need the coffee, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you love it, I get it though. We can talk through. The really cool thing is we can talk through individually. Like if you're a great water drinker, a cup of coffee, it's not going to it's not going to cause you to not have great results unless you're currently having an upset stomach or issues with coffee. Then we want to eliminate it for a little bit. But I would say more so we can individually like talk about that and see like, yeah, maybe you try the greens and you wait like 30 minutes to 60 minutes to see how you feel. And if you're like, I feel great each day, cool. Then you can have your cup of coffee afterwards and then move back to water again. I think it's great.
Susan said she drinks the greens first thing, then a cup of coffee while she's getting ready for work.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say, I feel like I've been fine. It's not like you're drinking, like the greens, to be clear, are not like a shot of caffeine into your veins. It's just what's in them that gives you natural energy. So I also don't want you to think you're drinking like a ton of like extra
I
caffeine or
it's
stuff.
actually the caffeine in the greens is so minute that they consider it caffeine free.
Yeah.
Legally. So
Yeah.
it's not going to give you the jitters or anything like that.
That's, yeah, I wonder if that's maybe what somebody was wondering too. Thanks for saying that. So 3 options we recommend. I mean, if you have a ton of Epicure in your home already, you're an Epic Box subscriber, you're ready to rock, we recommend trying the greens as your way to come into this challenge group. Obviously, we're going to do 6 weeks, so you're probably going to want 2 bags. And right now, that gives you a free gift when you spend $75. So that would be an option. Second option would be to grab a bag of protein and greens. If you're nervous about the greens, haven't tried them yet, you could go, all in for 30 days. If it's not your jam, that's fine. But that way you'd have protein on hand as well. Again, this would be great for people who have a ton of Epicure on hand. If you don't have anything, if you're watching this and an Epicure ambassador invited you, you're brand new to Epicure, Larry and I both agree the Epic Life bundle is on the website. It comes with our, most popular salted caramel protein. You can add the greens to it. You're going to get the free gift from Epicure. I can't say it enough. All of our challengers in Feel Good Summer, we encouraged this bundle, and 85% bought the bundle. A few, just for a few different reasons, did a purchase of Epicure equivalent, which is an option. You can make an Epicure purchase equivalent to these items, and that's fine. But I will say the ones that really followed it through, and I was saying this to Larry today, followed the guide, followed the meals, tried some new recipes, tried to work in more veggies, and they're having more success than when I say this so candidly, but if what you're doing now was working, then you wouldn't probably be on this info call or watching it. So sometimes you have to change it up a little bit and try something a little different. So Susan, I see your hand up. Do you want to unmute and ask?
Yeah, I just wanted to share, and I'm going to put this on my story page too for
Yeah.
my group. But I've been using the greens literally a week,
Yep.
and I used to drink a cup of coffee in the morning, and then I would drink I'd take a taller coffee mug made with me to work and finish that off, and then I'd be like dying in the afternoon, have to eat an apple or something. I am drinking my 1 cup in the morning. I don't get half of my other cup that I make drunk throughout my work day and don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm shocked.
Yeah.
In 1 week.
Mhm.
The energy level is just ridiculous. And I ordered my next bag today with the NPP. So yeah, I'm totally digging them. I've
Awesome.
got to do a definite share on my group because that's
Yep.
something to
So
get off of coffee like
Susan's
that.
sold
That's
and
huge.
she's in. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. No, it's exactly. I think there's such a difference in selling like a gimmicky, you're gonna lose weight or this is gonna be the magic
Right.
pill, versus selling or sharing a supplemental tool that really gives you tons of good stuff that your body needs. And that's why Larry and I are excited about it. And again, why it was important to me when Amelia brought it to me. She's like, I know you're on a health journey. Like what? And this was like in May. And I was like, oh, we should get greens. I think it's a great idea as long as the ingredients are good. I said, like, I don't want to start changing our standard of what we do at Epicure. She's like, absolutely not. Everything that we bring in, and hopefully additional products in this realm and future partnerships as well, which I'm really excited about. So I love that. Larry, anything you want to add to the 3 options? Did I cover that thoroughly?
Nope, I think you nailed it.
Okay, awesome. And yeah, just a final thank you guys. Kind of call to action would be to connect with your, I'm going to do a stop share here. Would be to connect with your ambassador that invited you. If you are an ambassador in Larry's team or my team and you're in, just shoot us an email or a message so we know. I'm going to make a list and Larry's going to make his list. And then on the 1st, Larry and I will start the chat and we'll start adding people in. And then just keep track of your customers as well. If you're a customer, please reach back to the ambassador that sent this to you and let them know you're interested. Let them know what questions you have about what the right purchase is for you or what the right items are for you, and how we can help you kind of customize a plan and make it work for you. Because there isn't like just a one size fits all. And that's also important. A lot of challenges you do, it's like, this is what you're doing. And you have to buy this protein blender. You have to do this. And we're like, well, that might not work. Like you might not be able to have those ingredients, or you might not do that. So we have a variety of different options here to get you involved in our challenge. Anything you want to add, Larry, as a wrap up?
I'm excited. That's what I want to add, is that I'm excited. And I can't wait to see who decides to go on this 6-week journey with us. I'm excited to see where we end up after the 6 weeks. Like that to me is exciting. Like to be able to share what's going on and how we feel and what worked and what didn't work. And I'm assuming some of you guys will be like, oh, well, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep going. And I can't wait to see what happens. I think the accountability and working with other people towards a similar goal, like that's where it's at. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy working with other people, and whether there's ups and downs, like we've got this. And that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, me too. I would say I'm most excited. I mean, I was saying to Stacy Long from corporate's been watching what we're doing, and she reached out to me. She's like, that's it. Tomorrow morning I'm getting up and I'm trying to Kayla style the day. I'm gonna attack it in the front end instead of waiting till 8 a.m. to start. I do like mornings. If you guys know me, if I start my day at like 9, I'm a grump. It's just not the best way for me to go at it. But she said something powerful in there, and she said, I've been watching you and I'm realizing that it's all the little things you've changed that you're stacking. Like I've noticed the last week, you're walking the dogs on these short little spurts, just like getting away from your computer, getting away from work for a second. I said, well, sometimes I'm taking it and talking to people as I go, but my dogs are happier, which means I'm less stressed about, oh, like I have these dogs. Why do I get dogs if I'm never going to walk them? And it was that, like, we have power to change so much in our lives, and sometimes we sit as a victim. And I'm just in a season where I want to like really take ownership of the things that I can control, so we can strip away and say, like, okay, now these things are out of our control, so what are we going to do as a family if we don't like these to change them? But a lot of the things that we were dealing with, I hope some of the immune system, I'm not saying you're never going to get sick, again, no medical claims here, I'm not saying we're never going to get sick, but I sure as heck know I'm in a way better spot now, because when school started this week, than I was last year at this time. I think I already had my first cold like 3 days into school. And then I went to Europe last fall and got COVID the first time. And that's kind of where it started. I didn't get better after it. I know, Larry, you've had that. I know others have had that. Like I just didn't heal well after it. And I think it's because I wasn't taking good care of myself. And my dad told me that, but I was offended. So I didn't make any changes then. Sometimes, like, when you have to be ready, not other people for you. We all know, you all know what I'm talking about. Somebody else could be telling you for a while that something's going on. You're like, no. I had a hairstylist about a year ago say, there's something wrong with your hair. And I was like, no, there's not. Stop it. There was definitely something wrong with our water, which was causing my hair to have like a major issue, which got progressively worse. And then about 6 months ago, it was where like my scalp was literally like peeling off, like flaky. It was bad. And it was all the water at the lake here. So she knew. And it wasn't like I was sassy. I was just like, no, it's fine. Like, it's just probably summer or whatever I told myself, right? And she's like, oh, I think it's your water. And it was very much the water. Like we had to have the water people out here. I mean, I think if you guys have followed the saga, like 13 times it took, and not that they weren't doing stuff every time. They were trying to like change filters, change things to figure out what happened. It's just our water, our iron out here at the lake changed with a very rainy season. We needed a whole different water softener and filter and iron something and tannin unit. And I don't even know. I don't know. But you know what I do know? My hair is soft and you can rub your fingers through it again. And my scalp is like healing. So take that as a tip. If you're on this call, something pushed you to tune in and made you interested or curious, take the next step. This is not a big, scary buy-in. It's not asking for a kidney. It's not asking for your firstborn child. And all of us want what's really best for you. So we're going to meet you in this accountability group, in these tools and resources where you're at, and just push you to every day do something and take the steps and add it up. When we do our kickoff call on the 3rd, if you like listening to Larry and I, we're going to go over in more detail, even if you don't like listening to Larry and I, mindset on top of that. What do I mean by stacking the wins? How did I go into practice week way back when I started doing this? I started taking care of myself better in April, but my challenge didn't officially start till June 4th. So I practiced those weeks before, and I already had a change in how I was feeling and on the scale before I ever started my first challenge. I did a challenge then all of May and thought, why am I doing someone else's challenge, like a health bet where you paid in money, when I do this for a living? This is fascinating to me. And I had this like awareness of like, I'm probably in the right business with the wrong coach, is like what, and so anyway, I share that all because we want you to give this a shot. You just don't know. What if this is exactly what you need? And for, you ambassadors, exactly the way that you can live out the products and be a true product of the product and share the testimony with clients. And if you are not yet an ambassador, maybe this is a way that you want to come in and build income with this too. And right now through the end of the month, it's still free to join. So reach out to your ambassador on that too. So, Susan, I forget what time the call is on the 3rd. Larry probably, it's a little bit earlier. It's going to be 6 p.m. Central because That night is corporate's big monthly kickoff now. So if people want to tune into both and not catch a replay, but we'll give the replay right afterwards as well. Like I'm speedy on replay. I'll upload it right away. Yep. And I'll give slides as well. When you come into the chat, you'll get the kickoff call and my deck of slides so that you can look through what we talked about as well. So if you want this replay from tonight, ask Larry, he'll, or myself, depending who your leader is, we'll get you the replay and the slide deck as well for this. Larry, I'm going to email it to you in the next couple of minutes here, and then I'm going to let it upload while I run in and do bedtime with Macaulay. Did anybody else have any questions? I don't want to cut anybody off, but I don't want the replay to get too much longer. And I do want to show you always that part of health is also being present for your family and really keeping your priorities straight. And it's something I've worked really hard on this summer, some boundaries. So anybody else? Cool. You're all running off to like have a cup of tea and get ready for bed, right? Get those PJs on. I can just feel it. Yeah. Susan's like, I'm in. I hope you're all getting some sleep. Anyway, Larry, thank you so much. Your brain is just awesome. I just appreciate you so much. I know everyone on learned a ton. Ambassadors, you're going to go share this replay with a couple people every day from now until September 16th. Go share it. Customers, if you watch this, bring a friend along. Bring a couple friends along. Let's do this together. And like I said, if you have any interest in doing the Epicure business or coming in and purchasing from yourself and bringing a few friends in, it is free to join right now. So reach out to the ambassador that invited you to this call. We can get you set up with that as well, if that's a better option for you. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. I'm really excited. I hope you decide to join. God's blessings, everyone.